Greetings, fellow mayors. This is Captain Obvious, and welcome back to Noyou Port City. In this episode, I am going to show how to implement the stock exchange into an existing city and showcase the many different design options that are possible with the financial offices. We will start by adding a train station that will connect this new financial district to the other game tiles in the map. Then we will need to continue this avenue or collector road that will be the main route through this district. In front of the train station, we need a centerpiece to attract citizens and tourists to take the train and visit this area. With that said, I will make this section slightly larger with a unique shape. The primary centerpiece will be the high-capacity hospital from the Plazas and Promenades DLC, and in the distance will be our stock exchange building, and in front of the stock exchange is the Statue of Wealth unique building. We are not going to upgrade the stock exchange building just yet. We will create our road network around it, which will tax the nearby financial offices. And the closer the financial offices are to the stock exchange building, the more they will be taxed, up to 6%. Towards the stock exchange building will be the offices, and further away will be where we will zone our residential and commercial buildings. As a reminder, always follow the demands of the city, otherwise you will encounter an imbalance that will cause the alerts to appear, such as not enough goods to sell, not enough customers, or not enough buyers for products. Okay, I've painted in the district and declared it as financial offices and local and organic produce, while the residential zone type will be its default temperate setting. Alright, let's go ahead and start zoning from left to right, which starts from residential to commercial, then finally industries or offices. At this point, I'm just continuing to fill in the spaces by zoning according to the demand. The focus of this episode is the financial district, but we must abide by the city management rules to keep your city healthy and thriving. As you zone to meet city demands, let us not forget to provide services such as death care with the cemetery just added and an additional high-capacity university. Since we are zoning more financial offices, they will require workers with university level education. And speaking of which, I still have not set up a campus for the city, and we are almost at 60,000 population. I'm also going to add a high capacity high school on the outskirts of the financial office blocks. Adding these services near the financial offices are absolutely necessary in order to have them achieve their maximum level. Look at the city demands. I barely zoned any financial offices, and the city is still asking for more residential housing and commercial zoning. And we don't really have a choice but to follow the city demands. So we will just continue to zone residential and commercial until the demand for offices rises. Now we have added a high capacity fire station that will further ensure that the financial offices will reach the third and maximum level. I actually ran out of zoning space, and we will need to expand further until we get more office demands. But this also works towards increasing our population and achieving the second to the last metropolis milestone at 75,000 population. This is taking much longer than I expected to gain more office demands, so we will need to do something drastic. If we peek into the stock exchange investments, you will notice that we have everything unlocked except for the Chirper Crypto, where we need the level 3 stock exchange, and we need the Chirp Air, which we will accomplish in the future by developing an airport, while everything else is unlocked, including the generic industry. Therefore, we will no longer need this area. These generic industry blocks have always been temporary and will need to be replaced by finalizing our forestry and farming industry. By deleting the generic industry, it should increase the office demands and we can finally concentrate on developing the financial offices. I have created a financial offices guide so I know exactly what growable buildings are available for the financial offices at each level. With this guide, I am able to use the Find It mod and plop down exactly what structure to design a uniform block. And lastly, I am using the Historical Districts mod, which I should have used sooner in order to make the entire district historical in just one click. Let's design one more block, then we can showcase what it will look like. Looking great so far, and look at our office demands. It is up, which means we can continue to design more financial blocks. It is important to mention that I first let the zoning construct on their own, then we would go back to demolish, then determine what building should be constructed with the Find It mod. Towards the back is when I start to establish our skyline appearance by making some of the buildings to the second and third levels. When designing the skyline, we no longer prioritize the building base model but instead focus on the appearance of the second and third level buildings. Since the office demands appear to be stabilized, it is safe to simply zone then immediately plop down the structure we want while the game is on pause. Another thing to note about creating our financial office skyline is to make sure that you don't have the same building model too close to each other. The design looks much more convincing when the structure models are different in design and by height. This looks magnificent. Definitely looks much better when you have control over what building it would construct and at what level and height. We have excellent progress, and I am just going to continue to design our financial blocks and lightly decorate the inner courtyard with city park assets. This will also increase the land value and assist in leveling up the nearby structures that are already set to historical. This block in particular, I am using the 3x3 and 2x2 structures, and the main attraction for this block would be the inner courtyard with the corner red gazebos that matches the building block models. I love these designs, and all we need to do now is to mirror the right blocks to the left, and I will keep the view zoomed out so I can see exactly the design to the right on which we are going to mimic. Oh yes, look at that. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. We are definitely putting to excellent use of this mini DLC's 100 plus growables. For this large block, we are going to do something a little different by utilizing even the 1x1 growables, which I think also looks just as neat. So what I am doing in this episode is showcasing every possible block design from the financial district offices, so viewers can create their own block and skyline ideas. Alright, we have these neat 1x1 buildings and a block. Now we are going to use the Move It mod to reset its properties that it would also change its color. Simply go to the Move It mod to the furthest right, then click the top 3 dots, and while the building is selected, let me do that again. Click on the Reset Objects until you get the right default color option that you want for the building. It is as simple as that without having to add another mod to strain your computer. I'll just do this one side to show the result. Then offline, I'm going to change the color for all the structures so they are uniform. And there we are. So offline, I made all the buildings the same color and went ahead to detail the front of the stock exchange. Now let's go ahead and fill in the empty blocks so the surrounding area of the stock exchange would be completed. I wasn't satisfied with the large block build, so I decided to switch it up a bit by tucking in the gazebos a little more. Before we go any further, every now and then it is important to check the status of the city so you can ensure stability and plan ahead. Traffic-wise, we are doing well, and for the first time, our weekly income is surely in the positive. Let's check the city services. Electricity is fine. Water is a bit low, actually alarmingly low, but yeah, we can manage this. Garbage is fine. Healthcare is also fine. Death care is doing well. Childcare is okay. I don't understand this. Average health 80%, and there's only 7 sick children and teens, and that goes the same with elder care. We only have 34 and it's already 64%. It's a little odd. I'm not sure how this works, but the average lifespan is at 72, so that is a good thing. Let's check the next one, which is fire coverage. And we haven't been paying too much attention to fire, but that is because we disabled the fire spreading. So we're not taking this too seriously. And we also have fire helicopters. So that is why it can basically manage any fires that is too far for trucks. But maybe in the future, we should enable fire spreading as a challenge. Crime rate is low, but our jail capacity is getting full. And I actually forgot how prison trucks look like, so let's go add a quick prison right here in the corner. Education. Now, this is something every mayor should pay attention to. Our elementary is low, and we just demolished our generic industry area, which required uneducated workers. We also need a few more high schools. Our university is fine, and it will eventually be replaced by a campus. And we don't build libraries because of their 400 weekly upkeep costs that stacks up over time. Okay, let's look at this area here. So the way the road network is a little odd, but we could take advantage of this and use this as our school areas and also our care facility. So let's go ahead and do that. There is a campus DLC where you can design an entire university but there is no lower grade DLC, so we'll just have to be creative and make our own by combining the elementary and high school structures together in an area. Just think of the other structures as different departments and different school levels. Then after, I simply started to fill in the empty gaps with pedestrian paths and tree planting. We could detail every block, but that is extremely tedious and time consuming, so I pick my battles and apply detailing at important areas of focus. Then everything else is just simple tree planting, fencing, and pedestrian path. Here we are detailing the front of the high capacity hospital and the train station. The unique building to place in front I selected is the mid-rise Mall of Moderation. The structure design angles slightly like it were wings, which is similar to the road pattern in front of it. It is a tiny detail to match the building with the road layout. Perhaps all road design should be based on the unique building, which would be quite interesting. And here we continue to do some minor corner detailing around the stock exchange building. The common theme is that I detail around main buildings to help expand its area and not so much for generic blocks. I worry about overworking my computer, so I try to have it with less things to process. Now we are back to detailing around the high capacity hospital in the rear area. A lot of the ploppable structures have unfinished pedestrian path, so I simply make the appearance of extending the path with pavers, then add decorations around them and on them. Further offline detailing looks great, and now let's upgrade the actual stock exchange. I discovered something strange. If you remember, this this generic industry was already unlocked, but when we demolished the yellow industries, it somehow unlocked itself. I don't know if this means you need to maintain at least 200 squares of industry to keep it unlocked, or it is a bug. Nevertheless, I am not going to make 200 squares of generic industry just to unlock something that I will not use. In any case, let's go ahead and manage our investments. And we will need at least 1,500,000 to reach the maximum 5th level. Also take note that our current tax bonus is at 2% or plus 2%. And when we open our budget tab, then go into the income for industry and offices, you will see that the financial districts earns us just about 1,200 a week at just 2% tax bonus. Now let's go ahead and upgrade our stock exchange in order to reach the maximum 6% tax bonus. When you open up the investment panel, it may look overwhelming with all the different stock that you can invest in, but all you need to look at is the value, and the most value is usually the greasy gasoline and the chirpy cruises. You just need to make sure that those are unlocked. So from the value, you need to wait for the exchange rate to drop to -1 to 0.5 or even less, which is even better. So let's actually do that now. I put it on pause, so I'm just going to purchase this with the maximum, and then So that is one, and this one you notice it's even less, right? It's -3, but only value of 600. So I'm just gonna get it just to show the difference. So I'm gonna get that as well. Okay, times 3 game speed. Then we just wait until it goes up. So look at the difference. So this one is much higher. So you could immediately sell that, sell this, and basically rinse and repeat. So right now I'm just waiting for the greasy gasoline to drop down. There's 2%. And let's go ahead and check the chirpy cruises, because that's also pretty high. 194. All right, we'll take it. 247. I probably sold it too quickly. Again, we're looking for it to drop. 383,000. That's really good. All right, let's try playing with the chirpy cruises. 125. That's pretty good. Okay, let's check how much we have so far. So we click this again. So we're gonna upgrade. Level 2, level 3, level 4, and we need about 200 more. Then we'll reach level 5. There we go. We got 200. And now we are at level 5 with the tax bonus of 6%. So if we look at again at our budget tab, so it was previously around 1,200. It went up just a little more. So this doesn't seem like it's a lot, but if you compare it with the other offices and the number of actual financial offices there are, you are actually earning more. So I think the financial offices will replace the regular offices. And IT clusters is not something that you want too many of, because they demand so much goods. So I think financial offices will definitely replace the using offices after you have established your industries DLC. But if you compare to what earns the most, so of course second place would go into the residential, and then commercial, but nothing can stop the industries DLC. So industries DLC is still the best DLC when it comes to income, and coming in second place is still the Park Life DLC, and eventually the campuses when we have this made. Okay, let's take a closer look on how this works. So 6% will go to whatever building is closest to the stock exchange. So if you notice, this is at 6%, and the further we go out, it's going to reduce. So it's at 5%, 5% there. So if we even had more there, it will be less and less. So if you try to move it, and its radius is around there, so I guess up to here will be around 1%. So if you look at the circle, basically that's how it works. And we didn't even maximize the percentage, but I don't think it's necessary, because you don't want like just blocks all everywhere. This one is at least a decent number, and it's still aesthetically pleasing. It's not that terrible. Towards the end, I did further detailing, and I am really starting to enjoy the pink flower trees. After achieving level 5 stock exchange, it unlocks the international trade building that functions the same as the stock exchange and provides plus 6% tax bonus that we can design after we have finalized the industries DLC. In any case, these are my design tips for Financial District DLC. I think the building models are great when utilized properly, and you can design cool things with them. In other news, we will welcome 2023 with a new upcoming series that will focus on a plan ahead, build along theme. But don't worry, Noyou Port City will still continue. There's actually less than 10 episodes left for Noyou Port City. If you are kind enough to support the channel, feel free to subscribe, comment, and like. This is Captain Obvious. Thank you for watching and for choosing to fly with Obvious Airlines. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next flight.